On a dark and gloomy day, the local villagers were taking their children to be offered as offerings to a demon. Amongst the children to be sacrificed, Shishan and his baby sister were both there. They soon reached a building called the City God Temple. The villagers would enter the building and leave the kids in there before quickly leaving. As night soon came, all of the children had fallen asleep. Shishan was the only one still awake. Suddenly an ambiguous shadow appeared in front of the temple's door. Shishan's heart begins to race when he saw the mysterious shadow. Luckily it was only other humans that arrived, and Shishan heaved a sigh of relief. As the new visitors were checking out the place, the young lady complains that this place was too shabby. However, her caretaker Uncle Lu expressed that they were lucky to have found a safe place like the City God Temple to rest at. The head guard later ordered his men to patrol the area and bring back some firewood. So while some of the guards were surveying the area, one of the guard was dusting up the temple when he noticed a mysterious prison cart. He curiously lifted up the cover and was surprised by what he saw that he told everyone to come over. When they all gathered near the prison cart, they saw sleeping children and Shishan, who was pretending to be asleep. Although most of them were confused by what this meant, one of the guard had an idea of what this could be. He explains that there's a saying, if a powerful demon came along that not even a city god can suppress, the local villagers would sacrifice their children to appease the demon's hunger. The young lady was outraged that human sacrifice was still a thing after the Gaotian dynasty was founded hundreds of years ago. Her retainers gave an understanding look to one another before asking the young lady what should they do with the sleeping children. The young lady was conflicted by what she should do, but in the end decided to not get involved because she didn't want to deal with a powerful demon. A short while later, after the guards came back with the firewoods, and Uncle Lu finished praying to the city god, they immediately started the campfire. Uncle Lu then asked the head guard if there was anything about the place, and the head guard said the temple was safe to stay for the night. Uncle Lu felt better when he heard this, but suddenly, one of the guards wonders why their colleague, Wang Er, still hasn't returned. This aroused suspicion in both Uncle Lu and the head guard, so Uncle Lu suggests they should look for Wang Er. The head guard agrees to his suggestion and immediately ordered his men to search for Wang Er. As the guards were setting out to look for Wang Er, Shishan was observing them from his prison cart. Suddenly a voice starts talking to him, which surprised him. Shishan looks up and saw Uncle Lu. Uncle Lu then asked why they were locked here and who did it to them. Shishan expressed that a powerful demon had killed quite a few people in his village, and the villages which said the demon likes to eat children, so they were chosen as sacrifice by the adults. The young lady then inquires why they haven't contacted the government to deal with it. Shishan said they did, but the soldiers they dispatch all died, so the government refused to send any more. Suddenly a terrified scream came from outside the temple. This alerted everyone inside the building, and they all went to check it out. When they got to the place, they saw Wang Er was now dead with every part of his body being dislocated. While the young lady nearly threw up, Uncle Lu theorized it might be the work of a demon. A guard then suggests they should immediately leave this place. However, Uncle Lu states they'll be much safer in the temple, rather than leave now and encounter other evil beings. So when they came back inside the temple, Uncle Lu ordered the guards to barricade the building. The guards immediately got to work and start sealing the place up with talisman and fortifying the door and window with wood and oil. Uncle Lu then came back to meet Shishan to inquire him about the monster lurking in this area, but Shishan said that he'll only divulge this information if he and his sister are let out. The young lady was against this idea because she didn't want to be implicated with Shishan's problem. Shishan then shrugged her and expressed he's got nothing to say then. Realizing they've got no choice, Uncle Lu comments they can let the siblings out but not the other kids. Shishan immediately accepts this deal, and Uncle Lu ordered his guard to set the siblings free. The guard then slashed the metal chains locking the prison cart, which also created a loud metallic noise in the process. But the other kids didn't react towards the noise at all, which kind of baffles the young lady. Shishan reveals the children were drugged before they were brought here, so they won't be waking up anytime soon. So as everyone gather near the fire, Shishan begins to tell his story. A while ago the village's hunters were the first to notice something was wrong within the forest because they couldn't find any animals to hunt. The village's elder then suspect it might be the work of a ferocious tiger, so the men of the village was gathered together to slay the tiger. But as they moved forward and saw the destruction of the forest, and footprints that doesn't resemble a tiger at all, it was there they saw it. A massive green demon with bone spikes protruding out of its body, savagely eating the wild animals until there was only bones left. And after taking another big bite out of the chunky raw meat, the demon suddenly turns its attention towards the hunters. Fear was an understatement at what those men had felt at that moment. So after that day, no one dared to enter the mountains again. The group was silent for a bit before the head guard concludes it might be no ordinary demon, considering that even a starving demon wouldn't devour every living thing near the mountains. Uncle Lou then revealed the monster to be a swelling demon. The young lady and her guards had a confused look because they've never heard of such a monster before. But there's a saying, if a starving demon and a stuffed demon were to encounter each other in broad daylight, they would start eating each other. If this went uninterrupted for 7 days, a new demon would emerge and grow from the two corpses, which was the swelling demon. The swelling demon would eating everything, whether it's a living thing or a demon, and the more they eat. But Uncle Lou remarks that a swelling demon doesn't usually grow to this enormous size. The young lady then told everyone to pause for a second, before turning to look at Shishan, and ask him why didn't they hire an expert from a nearby larger city if the government wasn't doing anything, and why didn't they ask their temple's city god to vanquish the demons if all else fails. Shishan explains that they did try sending someone to ask for help in the bigger city, but not a single one of them returned. And as for their local city god, it's revealed that the great demon drove the city god away. If this wasn't the case, the village's chief wouldn't have sacrificed them. The group again went silent for a moment, before Uncle Lou told everyone to forget about it and go get some sleep. 2 guards was then on watch duty, while the others were resting. Suddenly the swelling demon finally arrived at the temple, and when he saw the dislocated corpse of Wang Er, he lifted him up, before swallowing the deceased guard's body. Meanwhile, a fire inside the temple had lit out, and an ominous smoke starts entering the building, causing the guards on duty to quickly fall asleep from the aroma, and the people already asleep would enter an even deeper slumber. But Shishan was wide awake when he saw a huge demonic hand near the window. Shishan would quietly wake his sister up and point at the demonic hand outside. They then silently went up the platform of the city god and hid behind its statue. The swelling demon then bends down towards the door, before casually ripping it open and tossing it aside. Its large hand would then enter the temple in search of its offerings. The demonic hand accidentally touched one of the guard's body, so he instinctively grabs the guard, tosses him up into the air, before brutally chomping on him. Its hands then continue to search for the children, narrowly avoiding the young lady, before the demon found its target. It then took out the prison cart and stares at it for a moment, before counting the number of children to be sacrificed. But when he noticed that 2 kids were missing, the swelling demon quickly munches on the kids in anger, before ripping out a monstrous roar. To show that it doesn't like being ripped off or had woken everybody up, suddenly they noticed the roof was shaking, because the swelling demon had torn it off the temple. Everyone immediately froze when they saw the humongous monster, but these people weren't the swelling demon's target, because it was searching for Shishan and his sister. Xian, the behemoth of a monster, spots the head of Shishan. It immediately lunges its hand to grab the siblings. When Shishan thought that this was the end, suddenly a blazing hot sword came piercing out of the swelling demon's chest. The scorching hot blade would rip through the demon's body like hot butter, and before they knew it, the swelling demon was shrieking in pain from the everlasting fire, before collapsing onto the ground as the flames had subsided, showing that the swelling demon was dead for good. The others then went to figure out what had just happened, when suddenly a human's hand came out of the demon's body. The others were shocked and immediately raised up their guard, but the man who had came out of the demon's body told them to relax, because he was also a human. The young lady then noticed him to be her previously deceased and dislocated bodyguard, Wang Er. So after the swelling demon was slain, Wang Er turned to look at the silent forest, and stated that he has completed his mission in slaying the swelling demon. A short while later, a mysterious figure with a strange white mask appeared from the woods. The mysterious figure then went to check the corpse of the swelling demon and confirms that it was dead. Wang Er then thanks him, before the mysterious figure once again disappears into the woods. Puzzled by the identity of Wang Er, the young lady asked Uncle Lou if he knows who he was. Uncle Lou had an idea on who he could be, and if he wasn't wrong, Wang Er is probably a martial artist with titles and authorities conferred by the imperial court, and he joins them on their journey to lower the guard of the swelling demon, before finding the perfect opportunity to kill it with one strike. Another guard curiously asks if a martial artist can even. Uncle Lu explains that they can, because they are dispatched by the government to suppress demons at various places. The young lady then remembered her grandfather invited a martial artist master to subdue a demon within their mansion a few years back. And Uncle Lu confirms that that person was also a conferred martial artist. He then insists they should befriend someone as special as Wang Er, because they might need his help in the future, and the young lady agrees. Wang Er later climbs onto the swelling demon's body, before taking out a very sharp dagger and slicing his palm with it. He would then grip his hand tightly, so the blood would drip onto the demon's body and cause an insane combustion, which lights the demon's body on fire. The siblings then came out to check the situation. Although there were a lot of smokes obscuring their vision, the smoke soon faded, and Shishan was in awe when he saw a martial artist master like Wang Er burning the corpse of the swelling demon like a badass. Only after Xian called her brother did Shishan snapped out of it. A short while later, the demon's body was vaporized, with only its bones left. Meanwhile, Uncle Lu and Wang Er had a short yet amicable conversation before Uncle Lu returns to his young lady. The young lady then asked how did it go, and Uncle Lu expressed that Wang Er agrees to travel with them to Liaocheng City, and also promised to help them out 3 times. The young lady then heaved a sigh of relief, but wished her grandfather didn't purchase that accursed thing a few years ago. At the same time, Xian asked her brother if they can't return home, and Shishan was adamant that they can't return. Since all the other kids had perished, the adults won't dare to let them back in. Currently, the guards were making a toast towards Wang Er for saving them, and Wang Er would honor it by drinking with them. But while he was drinking, there was something about the 2 siblings that caught his attention. Yet this only lasted for a short moment, before Wang Er sets off with the others to Liaocheng City. On their way towards the hurriedly came to inform his young lady of something important. Uncle Lu asked what was it, and the guard tells them that the 2 kids from yesterday were following them. Uncle Lu and the young lady didn't believe him, so they got out of their carriage to see it for themselves. Surely enough, the 2 siblings weren't far from them, but their complexion wasn't looking too good. The young lady wonders why the 2 kids didn't return home after the death of the swelling demon, but the guard said he knows why. It is said that if a children crossed path with evil demons, they will inherit more Qi and are prone to encounter even more evil beings. So the villagers will never let the siblings back in fear of them bringing more disasters their way. Understanding the situation of the 2 children, the young lady ordered her men to give the kids some food and water, and allows the sibling to keep following them if they want to. A few hours goes by, and the siblings were still following the carriage. However, both of them were at their limits. Xian was the first to fall, and she would collapse onto the ground. Yet Shishan would pick his sister up and continue to move forward even though his body was also about to give out. Wang Er, who sat in the back of the carriage, was amazed by the siblings' tenacity and grit. So when Shishan's mind and body gave out, and he was about to fall onto the ground, Wang Er caught the 2 kids before bringing them back the carriage. The head guard asked Wang Er what was he doing, but Wang Er said it would be a shame if he didn't take these 2 promising kids in. The head guard then asked Uncle Lu if this was okay, and Uncle Lu states it was fine since Wang Er wanted to bring them along. The head guard then ordered his men to move faster, and they quickly hasten up their traveling speed. Shishan had regained consciousness and realized Wang Er was watching him. Wang Er then reveals he's planning on opening a martial arts school in Liaocheng City, and wonders if Shishan is interested in becoming his disciple. There was a sparkle in Shishan's eyes, and he immediately bows to greet his new master, while Wang Er welcomes his first disciple. Xian would later wake up, and the carriage suddenly stops. A guard then came to inform them that they have finally arrived at Liaocheng City. The entrance to the city was bustling with people from all over. The city's guard would then prick the newcomers, before dropping their blood into a bowl of water with a talisman in it, to check if they were a demon disguised as a human. After the other did the same procedure, they finally entered into Liaocheng City. The city was massive, with people roaming the streets everywhere. Later at the Zhao Mansion, the new residence of the young lady, Wang Er was playing with his new disciples when Uncle Lu invites them into the mansion so they could be properly rewarded. But Wang Er turns him down because he needs to make a formal report to the government. After they bid each other farewell, and Uncle Lu heads into the mansion with the young lady, Wang Er took his disciple to the city's government building. Wang Er told the kids to wait for him before he shows the guard his token and enters into the building. Meanwhile, while waiting for their master, Shishan suddenly noticed an old man. The old man was a smelly beggar with flies flying around him. The old man then told the kids that it's unfortunate they were born in the end times because they will lose everyone they hold dear when they grow up. Yet Shishan angrily said the old man was spouting nonsense. Wang Er then exits the government building and went to pick up his disciples. The kids quickly greet their master, but when Shishan turns to look at the old beggar, he had
Everyone, welcome to my channel. If you want to see part 2 of this manhwa, make sure to comment on this video, and also if you want to know the name of this manhwa, you can see here, and also if you want to see more this kind of video, you can see here, and don't forget to subscribe our channel to see more exciting videos. Thank you everyone.